Publish.
How can something as beautiful as this be dying? A plague is ruining the land, but the tree of life still stands. Question is, for how long? End is coming to the new world. The tribes stand divided, in need of someone strong enough to unite them, or bring them all down. This is a story with an unusual beginning. So, let's expect an unusual end. Welcome to BIOMUTANT.
New game. And medium. Try it out.
Encode your DNA.
Primal. Nimble, developed, whatever that word is, breed, hybrid with a gene mutation, nimble, a cost of less development intellect. What the fuck is that? Okay. That guy looks like a motherfucker. Alright. Just gets worse down the line, doesn't it? Sure, I'll go this one.
Choose a genetic resilience.
Shut up, phone. Phone? Yeah, I'll just keep it around the middle.
Choose your fur style. Pick your main color.
Jesus, people are fucking texting my phone today.
Choose your detail color.
Just keep it white. Right there.
Pick a class. Commando. Deadeye. Mercenary. Deadeye. Mercenary. Deadeye. Commando. Psy-freak.
Ooh.
Saboteur. Sentinel. Deadeye.
Deadeye just looks like something I would play with because I like to. I'm a bitch when it comes to. Oh wait, back.
Choose your pick your main. Choose your first style. Choose a genetic resilience.
Oh, I'm close.
Choose your first style. Pick your main. Choose your detail. Pick a class. Deadeye chosen. Good choice. Here's somebody with a troubled past, drawn into the spotlight of a story that's already begun. We're already at a but for you, it's not only a crossroad, but a choice.
Allow me to introduce myself. I'm the...
Can't believe you'd choose that thing over me. But
Bitch.
I'll be here waiting for
That thing?
better.
The best end is the one you decide yourself, and it seems we're headed in the right direction.
Right is always right. Guess left can be right sometimes. Stories of death and the bodies left behind. A reminder that we're at the mercy of nature and the one that preys on others.
You like that, though? Nature's a bitch.
Do you remember the beast that shattered your family? Or did you choose to forget? You turned your back on our world and got lost in your own. Meanwhile, the Predator only grew stronger. Better make a run for it. This is not the time nor place to end this story.
Pretty cool story so far.
This time, it was best to run and live to fight another day. Let us hope you're ready for it when it comes.
Fair enough.
The Predator isn't the only threat. The wildlife started to mutate when the end of days began, and the Tree of Life started to die. Shot. Blasting everything to bits. Right in the face. keep hauling yourself into the air? The oil sludges everywhere. For most, it only means death, but some have adapted to the new environment and changed with it. Evolution has its ways. Itchy trigger finger. Right between the eyes.
That's not fair. Good. Move speed. Let's put like.
Watch you flex.
Ranged guns.
Look, an emergency box from the once was. On sight. fight looks weak. The claw bar should come in handy. Whoa! It's time to find a way out of this place. No, really, I mean it. The Morks produce biomatter in their multi-organ that they shed under distress. Blobs that affect the cellular coding strands of any living being when absorbed, including you. A smart foe would leave now. Sure useful. Toxanol built vessels called arks to save themselves from the impending doom. Locked solid. Just a few moves left. Make them count. There are few records of the chain of events that led to the big apocalypse eons ago, but it's clear the world wasn't prepared for how recklessly the Toxanol Corporation would make its mark on the world. Their rare earth mining and nuclear industries generated tons of waste, and without consideration for the future, they dumped it all in landfills until they ran out of space. That's when they made the big mistake. They began dumping the toxic waste in the surf just off the coast instead, assuming that it would sink and decay with time. And they were right, but no one was prepared for what was about to unfold. Once in the surf, the radiation interfered with the genetics of the wildlife and created bizarre mutations in their offspring. It had an inconceivable impact on biodiversity and the entire ecosystem. The world as they knew it crumbled as nature retaliated. It would never be the same again, and what remained of it became ours. The sound of spark metal going pew-pew is never a good thing. It's coming from behind that door. A warning label. The box looks like a potential brain melt. It's going to take a bit of puzzling to short-circuit the door. Just a few moves left. Make them count. There you go.
Interesting.
The wheeled one is outnumbered. You'd better help him out. That's the last of them. Let's talk to the wheeled one before backup arrives.
Tuloya, voto lola, olowoya, lo yalobatoloyo.
He wants to thank you for taking his side against the scavengers. He sounds familiar. You just can't figure out why.
Mauketo, tol atto, iamanao.
He presents himself as out of date. He knows he's way overdue, but he hasn't given up.
Mauketo, tol atto, iamanao.
He doesn't seem surprised that you don't recognize him. You were just a child back then, the night everything changed.
Mauketo, tol atto, iamanao.
There have been rumors of a one-eyed Ronin seen outside the Great Wall, and he's happy to see it's true.
Oloi, bo, bopawe.
The legend of the one-eyed child that grew up as an outcast is old and sad.
Ewe, boboye. Tolu, keta, ya wawanawe.
The child could have been anyone, but the evil it had fled had left a mark, a facial scar to remember the past.
Nuekek, ujbar no barke.
How Lupa Lupin somehow left you alive after his raid on the old village. He must have had a purpose with that. The question is, what?
Kotuvon ko kumlun kono. Far kobemako to far titaba.
There's no doubt you're the child, and that what Lupa Lupin did to your village, your Muma and Popsy, was the beginning of the end.
The what if of Uguvuhu, Vobra Boom.
He says it has taken you a long time to bring the past back up to the present, to find your way back, but he's grateful you have.
Tamok Gabamok Tab.
It was after the attack that the unity fell apart. Your Muma's disciples divided and formed tribes as a reaction to the blight that had fallen upon.
Evunkutu Buvum, if of Uguvuhu, Vobra Boom.
After the old village was destroyed and you disappeared, a struggle between the families erupted, and over time, the disciples turned against each other.
Yalawawat now is.
Had it not been for the Tree of Life, no one would have survived. He hopes you at least remember the tree. Asks if you were tired, as it's a bit of a hike here from the village. He wonders if your Muma knows you are here. You're such a good child, so you probably did. Even the young forget. He understands why you came all the way out here, to see them, the potato people. The potato people, or Nono, are a wonder, somehow interlinked. You might be right. Like potatoes, they're packed with energy, an excellent source of ki. The Nono prefer to hide in glitter grass. He says you should get over there and ruffle it. See if you can make one come out of hiding. found one. The Nono's key energy is just what the Pensai needs to come. You'll need a net to catch the Nono, and he wants you to use his. You. He's great. Oh, it'll need a continuous flux of ki over the 12 months to come, so countless, he'd say. Now that you've seen the Nono's connection with the tree with your own eyes, you have no reason to doubt. From this day on, he'll make nurturing the Pensai into a tree of life, a life goal, not only for our village's sake, but for all of us, everyone. One day, the land won't be as peaceful. Not even your Muma will be able to You can already see. He says you'd better hurry back to the village before your Muma comes looking for you. You did good here today. He lost you there for a while, but no memory is alone. It's part of a trail you can follow. He says he remembers every single day he devoted to growing the Tree of Life, but now he's afraid it might be in vain. The tree started to die when the end of days begun, and it wasn't long after the genetic evolution that occurred. His friend Gizmo is working on a Mekton and needs help defeating the Jumbo Puff at the end of the West Route. Wiz is still repairing his octopod to confront the Merc Puff that dwells deep down under the surface at the end of the Northwest Route. Noko has tamed the Midget and is preparing to take on the Hoof Puff at the end of the East Route. Finally, Goop is almost done with the Goo Glide, a machine able to ride the waves of the surf all the way out to the Porky Puff at the end of the route to the southeast. He wants you to understand that you'll all die if the tree isn't saved. Regardless, you'll meet again once you've played your part in the tribe war and the situation with the World Eaters. You're getting the hang of it. Quickest way out is through the roof where they came in, and the rope looks strong enough to climb.
Yeet.
Know that the Tree of Life is dying. Its days are numbered. Without help, it can't endure the environmental change and assault from the World Eaters. A signpost maps it out for the cartographically challenged. Let's see. Must be the World Eater that chewed off Out-of-Date's leg. You'll need a hat trick to bring that down. The World Eaters have made their marks on our world over time. That's not the first nor the last village it'll leave in its wake. Look, a survivor. Glad to see someone made it out alive. He's heard the stories about the terror inflicted by the World Eaters to other enclaves, but never expected one to come all the way here. He worries there won't be much left to save if this continues, even if the Tree of Life survives the attack. He doesn't know what your connection is to this place, but something tells him you've stayed true to your heart. Anyway, he needs help and says it's by your actions you'll be judged, not by your intentions. He's grateful for that. You still seem to have a spark of light in you.
That's a spark of light in you!
Too much already?
What's there to like about light? It hurts to look at.
Not as much as it hurts to look at you.
Always making this personal.
And you're always trying to pretend it's not.
There's Out-of-Date again. He must have missed something important. Out-of-Date knows you'll make a better stand against the World Eaters with the support of a tribe, and there's two nearby. The Jagni tribe is likely to be your primary choice as they seek to become omnipresent and, most importantly, feared. Regardless of who you choose, it won't be easy, as the conflict between the tribes is worse than ever, teetering on the brink of war. The Myriad's conviction to stop the World Eaters began when the Leviathans rose from the depths of the surf. Siding with the Myriad's movement for wholeness in a fragmented world might seem like the logical thing to do, but is it the right thing? One thing's certain, though. Destiny arrives all the same. The Jagni tribe only ever had one conviction: to bring balance to the world by wiping out the weak. They believe a cleansing is necessary to restore the world, and want to let the World Eaters bring down the Tree of Life. But siding with Jagni isn't necessarily a bad thing. Fate will find a way.
Ba lo yualo.
Out of Date says someone needs to break the stalemate and shift the balance of power to either Jagni's or Myriad's side.
Evunko to bovum to lualo to loka.
He believes the tribe Sifus, Jagni especially, will listen to you and expects you to pay at least one of them a visit and play your part.
Ayamu aya ba lo yualo.
He believes you share Jagni's view on the world. Regardless, Jagni would welcome someone that had helped them against the Myriad tribe.
Tiboda kelmok mao toliawahu.
He'll be waiting for you beneath the Tree of Life if you lose track of what you need to do.
Koyetu kowebu ya yumawa.
Regardless, you'll meet again once you've played your part in the tribe war and the situation with the World Eaters. Another fork in the road. It's either the tunnel or the motor bridge. What'll it be? It's a bridge. Just get over it. Carve it up. Flash the slash. It's unusual that natural tunnels like this still exist. Most of them got flooded. You got moves. Now that's a flesh wound. Sharp steel. This area was beautiful before the tribe war began. Look at it now. It's a war zone. That's the Myriad Tribe's fortress. Will they be friends or foe? You should head up there. That way you'll know. Let's see. It's a beaten path to that door. If you go there, you'd better make an entrance. Says they're wary of strangers. They're at war. They've already got word of an intruder, so he guesses the Sifu must be very interested in meeting you. The Myriad tribe act on understanding of the greater good and a code of honor. They believe uniting the tribes is the only way to restore the peace. The Sifu is convinced that defeating the World Eaters and saving the Tree of Life is the only way to make the world a better place. He welcomes you to the Myriad Fort and introduces himself as the tribe's Sifu. But he was hoping you'd show up. The news of a vigilante Ronin on crusade crossing the Great Wall through the crack in Bunker 101 has preceded you. He heard you took out-of-date side against the scavengers in Bunker 101. It seems you believe in helping your next, and that's something you have in common. He's convinced you've returned for a reason, and is glad you chose to come here. There's something about your spirit that sparks memories of you as a kidling. He can still sense you're kind-hearted. The Sifu says sometimes one memory can make another come to life. He hasn't thought about your Muma for ages, even though she taught him a lot. He was one of the original Wang Fu disciples. Your Muma invented Wang Fu. Originally, it consisted of unarmed combat and the 6 weapons: the boomerang, the shuriken, the bow, the staff, the nunchuk, and the hook and chain. The Sifu says it's time to set the past aside, at least for now. Unrest is sweeping the land, and there are rivals in all directions. Myriad wants unity between the tribes. Their goal is understanding of the greater good and establishing a code of honor. Says there has to be some dark so that light can prove its purity above it, and promises this will happen if you help them unite the tribes, defeat the World Eaters. He could only hope for you to do that, and is thankful you know what's right. That's a sign of strength. The Sifu was waiting for something to tip the balance in their favor, and with you by their side, he's confident you can unite the other tribes. The one you should coerce first is the Jagni tribe. Their kin have run out of options and found themselves backed into a corner. Even those who desire peace have been forced to prepare for war. They might bring them war, but they'll never take away their inner peace. He wants you to focus. These are the new rival outposts your tribe needs to take control of. He says you'll regret not being on their side. The only way you'll learn their secrets, Wung Fu and the tribe weapon now, is if you defeat him. And that will never happen. Even though he tells you not to be afraid, your fate cannot be taken from you. Once you've dealt with the rivals' outposts, you'll challenge their Sifu to unite their tribe with yours and let your kin share land again. See, anyway, the memories you make wishes someone from the myriad bloodline like you wasn't so bent on snuffing. Says you should take it easy.